Welcome to Haunting Echoes. I hope you're all safe and well, because tonight, we're unraveling a chilling tale that might just leave you questioning the silence in your own home. Are you ready to step into the unknown? There's a house, a seemingly ordinary one on the outside, that has earned a reputation for being anything but. Locals have nicknamed it the house that never sleeps. It begins innocently enough. You settle in for the night, exhausted from the day. But as you lie in bed, a faint murmur rises, so soft it could almost be the rustling of leaves outside. You dismiss it as your imagination. Then it grows louder, more distinct. Words spoken in a language you can't understand, flowing like a secret conversation just beyond your grasp. The source? The hallway outside your door. For years, residents of this house have shared eerily similar experiences. No matter the time of night, whispers seem to echo through the long, dimly lit corridor. They weave through the air like smoke, faint yet undeniably present. Strangely, the voices never overlap. They take turns, as if conversing with one another, or waiting for you to join in. One family reported hearing whispers the very first night they moved in. At first, they thought it was the sound of the house settling, or perhaps the wind slipping through cracks in the old wooden frame. But when they pressed their ears against the walls, the whispers became clearer, almost intentional. And the more they listened, the more it felt like the whispers were listening back. The most unnerving part? The whispers intensify when someone dares to sleep in the room closest to the hallway. People describe waking up in the dead of night to the sensation of being watched, only to hear the whispers growing louder, almost aggressive. It's as if the voices know you're awake. One former tenant, a skeptic who prided himself on logical explanations, decided to confront the phenomenon head-on. Armed with a voice recorder, he set up microphones throughout the hallway and left them running overnight. When he played back the recordings the next day, his skepticism shattered. The whispers were there, soft, insistent, and unmistakably human. One phrase repeated several times stood out. "Don't go." But who, or what, is behind these whispers? Local legends suggest that the house was built over a forgotten burial ground, its hallway serving as an unintentional gateway between the living and the dead. Others believe the whispers belong to the house's first residents, a family that vanished under mysterious circumstances. Some say they hear the faint cries of a woman, mourning something lost, while others claim the whispers sound angry, as if protecting a terrible secret. And then there's the language. Linguists who have heard the recordings describe it as an amalgamation of archaic dialects, some of which have no known origin. Could this be the voices of spirits from a time long past? Or are they trying to warn us of something? The most terrifying incident occurred just a few years ago. A group of paranormal investigators spent the night in the house, determined to uncover the truth. What they captured was far more than they bargained for. While setting up cameras in the hallway, one investigator swore he felt a cold hand brush against his shoulder. Moments later, the whispers grew deafening, no longer soft murmurs, but harsh, urgent commands. When the team reviewed the footage, they were horrified to see shadowy figures darting across the hallway, synchronized with the voices. What makes this story truly haunting is its persistence. Long after residents move out, they claim the whispers follow them, haunting their dreams and seeping into their waking lives. A single question lingers in their minds. What did the whispers want? As we step back from this chilling tale, the house and its hallway remains shrouded in mystery. No one has been able to silence the whispers or explain their origins, and perhaps that's for the best. After all, some doors are better left unopened. What do you think the whispers mean? Are they trying to warn us? Or are they something far darker? Tonight, we step into a place you thought was safe. Your kitchen. What if something unseen, something uninvited, was sharing that space with you? It starts small, barely noticeable. A cupboard door left open when you swear you closed it. A faint smell of burnt toast wafting through the air, even though no one's cooked in hours. But soon, the little oddities begin to escalate, and what was once dismissed as forgetfulness takes a turn for the unexplained. This is exactly what happened to the Martins, a family of 4 who moved into what they thought was their dream home. The kitchen, bright and spacious, quickly became the heart of their home. But it didn't take long before they started noticing things they couldn't explain. At first, it was the noises, plates rattling in the middle of the night, as if someone were rummaging through the cupboards. Heavy footsteps pacing across the tiled floor, stopping just as someone entered the room. Then there were the smells, the unmistakable aroma of burnt toast, sometimes mingling with a faint scent of something metallic, like old blood. One night, Mrs. Martin stayed up late to prepare a cake for her youngest daughter's birthday. She was alone in the kitchen when she felt a sudden chill sweep across the room. The air grew so cold that she could see her breath clouding in front of her. As she reached for a mixing bowl, it slid off the counter and crashed to the floor on its own. She froze, her heart pounding in her chest. That was when she noticed the footprints. Trailing across the flour-dusted floor were heavy, boot-like prints that hadn't been there moments before. The path led to the corner of the room, where the shadows seemed to deepen unnaturally. She called for her husband, but by the time he arrived, the footprints had disappeared. This was only the beginning. Over the next few weeks, the kitchen became a hot spot for bizarre activity. The family would wake up to find drawers yanked open, utensils scattered across the counters, and once, an entire carton of eggs smashed against the wall. Mr. Martin, a staunch skeptic, installed cameras to catch the culprit, convinced it was one of the children playing a prank. What the footage revealed sent shivers down his spine. Late at night, the camera recorded the kitchen as it appeared empty. Then, without warning, a cupboard door creaked open on its own. Plates and bowls slid out, crashing to the ground as if an unseen force had thrown them in anger. The most chilling moment came when a chair pulled itself out from under the table, as if an invisible figure had sat down for a meal. But what could be causing this? The family began digging into the house's history and uncovered a grim tale. Decades ago, the house had belonged to a man named Samuel, a reclusive cook who lived alone after losing his family in a tragic fire. Samuel was said to have become increasingly unstable, often seen muttering to himself about feeding his unseen guests. One night, neighbors reported smelling smoke. By the time firefighters arrived, the kitchen was engulfed in flames. Samuel's body was never recovered. The Martins couldn't shake the feeling that Samuel's spirit was still tied to the kitchen, reliving his final moments over and over. Paranormal investigators were called in to assess the situation. Using thermal cameras and EMF detectors, they captured chilling evidence. Cold spots moving across the room, erratic spikes in electromagnetic activity, and disembodied whispers caught on audio recordings. One whisper in particular stood out. "I didn't mean to burn it." The investigators suggested that Samuel's spirit might be trying to communicate, or worse, seeking redemption for a mistake he couldn't undo. But not all the activity felt remorseful. On more than one occasion, knives were found embedded in the walls, as if hurled with violent intent. The family began to fear that whatever haunted their kitchen wasn't entirely benevolent. The breaking point came one night when the eldest child, Lily, decided to investigate the kitchen noises herself. She tiptoed downstairs with a flashlight, determined to prove to her friends that she wasn't afraid. As she reached the bottom step, the flashlight flickered and died. In the darkness, she heard the unmistakable sound of footsteps, slow, deliberate, and coming closer. Terrified, she bolted back to her room, where her parents found her trembling and pale. She refused to speak about what she had seen, but from that night on, she insisted on keeping her bedroom door locked. Unable to endure the constant fear and escalating activity, the Martins eventually decided to leave the house. To this day, the new owners report similar occurrences: objects moving on their own, the smell of burnt toast, and the sound of heavy footsteps pacing through the kitchen. The story of the unseen visitor in the kitchen remains a chilling reminder that some places carry more than just memories. And sometimes, the things we cannot see are the ones that haunt us the most. What do you think is causing these disturbances? A restless spirit, or something even darker? What if late at night, you weren't alone under the covers? Brace yourself for the unsettling tale of the bed that breathes. There's a house that seems unremarkable on the surface, a suburban property with a tidy lawn and a welcoming facade. But ask anyone who's ever spent a night in its master bedroom, and they'll tell you it holds a dark and chilling secret. The stories from this room are so unsettling that it's earned a nickname among locals: the breathing bed. It begins subtly. Guests who sleep in the master bedroom report feeling something odd, a faint, rhythmic movement beneath them. At first, they think it's their imagination. Maybe the mattress is old, or the springs are shifting. But then it becomes unmistakable. The bed rises and falls ever so slightly, as if someone invisible is lying beside them, breathing softly. One guest, a traveling journalist named Karen, described the experience as both horrifying and surreal. She had just turned off the lights and was drifting off to sleep when she felt the bed shift under her. It wasn't the small creak of a settling mattress. It was the deliberate weight of something lowering itself onto the bed. She froze, her heart racing, and then she heard it, the soft, rhythmic sound of breathing. It was slow, deliberate, and coming from the empty side of the bed. Terrified, Karen turned on the light, but the room was empty. She spent the rest of the night sitting in a chair, too afraid to close her eyes. But the experience didn't end there. The next morning, she noticed faint red scratches on her arm, scratches that hadn't been there the night before. Karen's story is not an isolated one. Over the years, many who've stayed in the master bedroom have reported similar encounters. Some wake up to find the sheets pulled tight around them, as if someone, or something, was tucking them in. Others describe the overwhelming sensation of being watched, though no one else is in the room. But what could be causing this phenomenon? As the current homeowners dug into the house's history, they uncovered a chilling possibility. Decades ago, the house belonged to a couple, Arthur and Eleanor, who were known for their turbulent relationship. Arthur was a jealous man, and their arguments were said to echo through the neighborhood. One fateful night, Eleanor was found dead in the master bedroom under mysterious circumstances. The official cause was ruled as natural, but whispers of foul play spread like wildfire. Could it be that Eleanor's restless spirit still lingers in the bed where she died? Or is it something far darker, something that preys on those who dare to rest in its domain? Paranormal investigators who visited the house have captured unsettling evidence. Cold spots hovering over the bed, faint whispers caught on audio recordings, and even thermal images showing an unexplainable heat signature on the mattress. One chilling recording captured late at night revealed a soft voice, barely audible, saying, "Lie down with me." This single phrase has sparked endless speculation. Is the entity inviting company? Or is it luring its victims into a trap? The most terrifying incident occurred just a few months ago. A young couple, unaware of the room's sinister reputation, decided to stay the night. Around 3 a.m., the husband woke up to find his wife sitting upright in bed, her eyes wide and unblinking. When he tried to shake her awake, she whispered, "He's lying right here." She pointed to the empty side of the bed, but the husband swore he felt the mattress dip, as if someone were indeed lying there. After that night, the couple refused to set foot in the house again, leaving behind only their story and their fear. The question remains, what truly haunts the bed? Is it Eleanor's spirit, trapped in the place where her life ended? Or is it something older, something malevolent, drawn to the vulnerability of those who sleep? For now, the master bedroom remains occupied by shadows and secrets, and the bed, ever so faintly, continues to breathe. Thank you for joining us tonight on Haunting Echoes. If this story made you think twice about crawling into bed, you're not alone, but the chills don't end here. Be sure to check out our video on the haunting keeper of the lighthouse. Another spine-tingling tale you won't want to miss. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories that blur the line between the living and the dead. Until next time, sleep tight and don't let the bed breathe.